Now, after watching this video, you may never look at chicken the same way again, because what I'm about to show you is disturbing, and honestly, most people have absolutely no idea what they're really eating. Over 99% of all chickens sold around the world come from factory farms, and these chickens are raised to become fully grown in just 42 days. Think about that for a second. 6 weeks, a completely mature animal, in less than a month and a half. That is not natural. Years ago, chickens took several months to grow naturally, but modern industrial farming has genetically manipulated and artificially accelerated this process to extreme levels, and anytime human beings force nature to move faster than biology intended, there's always a price. The scary part? Most people assume chicken is one of the healthiest foods you can eat. Eat chicken and rice. Choose white meat. Stay away from red meat. That's what we hear over and over again. But what if the exact opposite is becoming true? What if the chicken people eat every single day is one of the most altered animal foods in the modern diet? And before we continue, if you care about what goes inside your body, if you want to learn the hidden truths about nutrition, inflammation, aging, and disease, subscribe to the Hidden Health Nutrition channel right now, because this channel exposes what the food industry never talks about. And trust me, the next few minutes may completely change the way you shop for food forever. Now let's talk about how these chickens are actually raised. Most factory chickens spend their entire lives packed inside massive industrial buildings, sometimes tens of thousands of birds in a single facility. No sunlight, very little movement, extreme overcrowding, and because so many animals are trapped together in one place, the amount of waste becomes overwhelming. This creates dangerously high ammonia levels inside these facilities. And yes, ammonia. The same toxic chemical smell many people recognize from cleaning products. In these factory farms, ammonia from accumulated waste can become so concentrated that it burns the chicken's skin, damages their eyes, and causes painful sores on their feet and joints. Imagine living your entire life breathing toxic air, unable to move properly, growing at an unnatural speed, until the day you're slaughtered. That's where most chicken comes from. But here's where things become even more concerning. Let me ask you something. People eat sushi, people eat rare steak, but nobody orders rare chicken. Why? Because chicken carries an extremely high risk of dangerous bacteria like Salmonella, Campylobacter, and E. coli. And yes, all meats can contain bacteria, but chicken contamination is on another level entirely. Why? Because bacteria thrive in overcrowded, filthy, high-stress environments, when thousands of animals are forced into unhealthy conditions. Disease spreads rapidly. That's why when people prepare raw chicken at home, they disinfect everything afterward. The cutting board, the sink, the knife, the counter, even their hands, because contamination spreads incredibly easily, and everybody knows chicken must be cooked thoroughly or it can make you seriously sick. That alone should make people stop and think. Now here's another strange question. Why do companies add flavoring to raw chicken? Not fried chicken, not fast food, raw chicken breasts from the grocery store. Look carefully at the label sometime. You'll often see flavor solutions, broth injections, sodium solutions, or added seasonings. Why? Because modern factory chicken often has very little natural flavor on its own. And there's a reason for that. Flavor develops slowly through natural growth, diet, muscle movement, sunlight exposure, and healthy fat development. But when an animal is forced to grow unnaturally fast, those flavor compounds never fully develop, so companies have to artificially improve the taste. And it gets worse. Sometimes they even add coloring to chicken meat, pigments, color enhancers. Why? Because without them, the meat can appear pale, grayish, and unnatural looking. In other words, the product sometimes doesn't even look like healthy chicken anymore, unless it's modified afterward. Think about that carefully. An animal raised unnaturally fast, in overcrowded industrial conditions, fed processed feed, then chemically enhanced to improve flavor and appearance. And somehow people still call this healthy. Now let's talk about one of the biggest hidden problems with modern chicken. Its fat composition. Most people think chicken is healthy simply because it's lower in saturated fat than beef. But they never look at the omega fat ratios. Modern chicken contains extremely high amounts of omega-6 fatty acids and very low amounts of omega-3s. The ratio is often around 14 to 1. Ideally, humans should consume something much closer to 1 to 1. Why does this matter? Because excessive omega-6 fats can drive inflammation inside the body, Chronic inflammation is associated with obesity, heart disease, insulin resistance, joint pain, fatigue, and accelerated aging. And where does all this omega-6 come from? The chicken feed. Factory chickens are heavily fed soy and corn. Both are naturally high in omega-6 fats. But that's not even the craziest part. Many commercial feeds also contain something called yellow grease. Sounds harmless, right? It's not. Yellow grease is basically recycled used cooking oil, waste oil from restaurants, industrial fryer oil, old vegetable oil that may have been repeatedly heated for weeks or months. Instead of throwing it away, some companies recycle it into animal feed. So these chickens are literally consuming industrial waste oils. And then people eat the chickens. This is one reason factory chicken is so cheap. You can walk into a grocery store and buy an entire cooked rotisserie chicken for just a few dollars. But ask yourself honestly, how is that possible? Raising healthy animals properly is expensive. It takes time, quality nutrition, space, sunlight, movement, care. Real farming costs real money. Cheap food usually comes with hidden costs somewhere in the system. And often, those hidden costs eventually appear in human health. Now let's compare chicken to beef nutritionally. And no, I'm not even talking about expensive grass-fed beef yet. Even conventional beef contains significantly more vitamin B12, zinc, iron, potassium, choline, and folate compared to chicken. And when you compare fat quality, the difference becomes even more important. Chicken averages around a 14-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. Conventional beef is closer to 9-to-1. Grass-fed beef can be as low as 2-to-1. That means dramatically less inflammatory fat, because grass creates a healthier fatty acid profile. Now, does that mean all beef is perfect? Of course not. Quality matters with every food. But the idea that chicken is automatically healthier than red meat is simply not true anymore. Not in today's industrial food system. And here's what most people never realize. The quality of the animal's life directly affects the quality of the food. Healthy animals create healthier food. Sick animals create lower quality food. It really is that simple. Personally, I raise some chickens myself. And trust me, real healthy chickens are completely different from factory chickens. They move constantly. They eat insects, worms, natural foods. Sunlight changes their nutrient profile. Exercise changes their muscle quality. And healthy feed is expensive, very expensive. So whenever you see ultra-cheap chicken being mass-produced, you have to understand something. Corners were cut somewhere, always. Now, does this mean you should never eat chicken again? Not necessarily, but it does mean people should start paying attention to where their food actually comes from. Pasture-raised chicken is different. Small local farms are different. Animals raised naturally are different. Quality matters. And the truth is, most people are not eating real chicken anymore. They're eating an industrialized version of it, a product optimized for profit, speed, and mass production, not for human health. So next time you walk through the grocery store and you see those unnaturally massive chicken breasts wrapped in plastic, ask yourself one question. Was this food created for nourishment, or was it engineered for efficiency? Because modern food companies are very good at selling convenience. But convenience and health are not always the same thing. If this video opened your eyes, subscribe to Hidden Health Nutrition channel right now. Because every week we uncover the hidden truths about food, inflammation, metabolism, aging, and disease that most people never hear about. And if you made it this far, comment below. Real food matters. I want to know who's still paying attention to what they put inside their body. And remember, the quality of your food becomes the quality of your health. Choose wisely.